Hello everyone, and welcome to the Techelet Rambam Tzitzit tying tutorial. My name is Lior. I'm going to be showing you how to tie Rambam 13 on a talit with tekhelet. Now, the reason I made this video is because I learned from many of the other ones online, and I found that they were either very old and blurry, hard to make out, too fast. Someone had a very bad angle. It was hard to really understand what was going on. And others just had contradicting opinions. So after tying quite a few of these, I decided to make one very, very clear video. And let's just begin. So in the pack of tekhelet that you've received, you should have 4 sets of these 4 strings that are put together. You might have to separate them out yourselves. So you'll have 3 white regular strings and 1 very long string that has blue tekhelet, and then in the middle it turns into white. That one should be much, much longer than the others. So what we're going to do is we are going to line up first the ends of our strings to make it easier to insert into the beged. Now, in my case, I'm using a talit, and my talit has tassels on the side of it, which indicate that that is the side of the talit, and we want the knots to be done on the side of the talit and not on the corner and not on the bottom hanging down. So I'm putting them through, and I'm just going to pull them all the way through. And I'm going to pull until I have the tekhelet where it starts to turn blue right at the midpoint. So you can see it's right at the midpoint there. And just a little bit over. And because this is the side with the tassels, I'm going to bring the strings over to the side. That's where we're going to be making our knot. So I have this here and this here. Now, on your set, you're going to have one of these. When you pull this blue to the middle, like I showed you, one of your white strings is also going to be very long. Okay, now I took these strings off of another talit, and so I've already cut the ends. And so I am able to know the difference because I made it a little bit black on the tip here with a marker. But yours is going to be very long, and it's the one that's connected to this blue string. So just keep that in mind that you might not see it in this video, but again, yours is going to be very long. So I don't need to do any more pulling. I already have everything aligned. You may notice that when you pull this blue to the middle, again, your white string will be very long. But for now, we're just going to make our initial knots by doing a double knot on the side here. Okay, so just going to flip it over. Every time we do a knot, this whole time we have to have a kavanah to do the mitzvah of tzitzit. So we're going to say L'Shem mitzvah tzitzit. And we're going to pull. Now, in order to get the Shem mitzvah tzitzit, in order to get this knot to never slide down to the bottom, we do it a little bit tight. So it's kind of like that. And then we have to do a double knot. So I'm just going to do it again. Doesn't really matter which way you do it. L'Shem mitzvah tzitzit. Pull that tight. Okay, beautiful. So now we have a double knot. Should look something like this. Okay. So now I'm bringing everything to the side. Now, again, this is what I was saying about other videos being a little bit confusing, but I find that if you have the beged this way and you hold all the strings facing this way to the left, it makes life a lot easier. So what we're going to do is we're going to separate the blue and that very long white string. Okay, now in my case again, I have it over here. So I'm just going to grab it, separate it out to the side. So I put them together. Now, before I show you how to do the first chulya, I want to show you what it should not look like. So I actually have an older job that was done here by one of those shops you find in Israel. And you can see here that there's a separation. So there's first a white, and they did a full chulya with a white, and then they did one with blue, two strings of blue. The combination we're going to do is not going to be separated like this. It's another reason why I made this video, so we can do it ourselves. Instead, it's going to be done like this, where it's intertwined, the white and the blue. Okay, so we always want to start with white and end with white. All the chulyot are going to have 3 of blue, but in the first chulya, it's going to start with white and have 2 blue, and then the last one is going to start with 2 blue and end with white at the end. Okay? So before I go back to this one that we were working on, I want to show you how to make the middle chulyot, because it's going to make life a lot easier. Now, if you go down in the description of the video, you'll be able to kind of skip around if you really just want to see the first one first. But I think it's important to understand how we do the middle ones, so you understand the concept of how to tie, and it'll make the first one a lot easier. Okay, so the way we start is we have all of these strings kind of held together. Okay, you can use these 2 fingers, you can use the palm like this, and we want to pull it kind of tight. Now with your index finger, you're going to want to hold the string up like this. Okay, and because we're pulling, we can kind of let go of this beged here, and we're going to want to create a bridge like that. Okay, where we're working always this way. So we're going to wrap 3 times. So that's 2. And then we're going to wrap 1 more time. That's 3. And then we're going to take this blue string and we're going to feed it through. We're going to feed it through these 3, the bridge that we just made, and we're just going to pull it through all the way until we join it with our other hand. Okay, now some people like to leave this little piece over here. It's not necessary, in my opinion, for these middle ones. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we can just kind of take these 3 on the top and just pull them back. Don't worry if it looks messy or if you get nervous, everything will come together soon. Okay, so now we pull it back and we have this kind of work area. Okay, now one thing I like to do is just hold this down in a pinch. Now notice how we have this one string coming out from the first chulya, this blue over here. That's the one that we need to start working with. And we do that by grabbing it and creating a little bend and then pinching on it with your left thumb. Okay? So you can see I'm pinching down with my left thumb. And if you want, a little pro tip is to do it as close as possible to the first chulya. So again, I'm going to just bend it and then pinch down. Okay? Now what you want to do is you want to take the string and wrap it away from you. Once, wrap it right beside it, going back towards the beged. Twice, and then wrap it a 3rd time. Wrap it a 3rd time. And you can see that as I'm doing that, what just happened is I unwound the whole thing, and now it's just loose sitting there. So that's perfect. Okay, so now I'm gonna kind of switch fingers by pressing it down, just having it there, pinching with this hand, and I'm gonna take the blue long string and I'm gonna pull to zip everything shut. Okay, L'Shem Mitzvah Tzitzit. And that's how we make our first, or in this case, second chulya. You can pull to make it even tighter. That's how it should look. So you have 3 pushed together, and then one, this string from the core continuing out. The cool thing about this is you can kind of slide it back and forth if you need, or you can pinch it even more and tighten it even more. And you have that amount of space in between them. And then we're gonna make 13 of these in total. All right, so now we're moving back down to our original corner, and we're gonna separate out the long blue string and the long white string out of the core. We're gonna grab the core with our left hand, making it tight, and we're gonna take these 2, which are called the shamashim, and we're gonna wrap them around the finger, just how we had before. Okay, we're gonna do with the white on the right side. We're gonna do a little triangle bridge like that. Okay, so we have the core strings tucked away to the left. We have the white on the right and the blue on the left. Then we're gonna take the blue and go one more time around. Okay, bring it here. And then we're gonna take the white, put it through the bridge, and lay it down with the rest of the strings. And we're gonna take the blue and do the same thing. Put it through the bridge and lay it down with the rest of the strings. Okay. Now we're gonna take this entire bridge that we made and we're just gonna pull it down. Don't worry about it, just leave it down, okay? And what we're gonna look for now in this work area is we're gonna look for the blue that is emerging from the first chulya. So I found it already, the blue that's emerging from that knot, okay? And just like we did before, we're going to pinch the core strings. We're gonna take this blue that's emerging, we're gonna add it to the pinch by folding it like that. And then we're gonna wrap away from us twice. So that's once. Okay. And then twice. You can see that it's starting to unravel. And we're gonna lift it up, hold it together, and with the other hand, we're gonna pull the blue string to zip it shut. First Tzitzit. Now, it trapped some of the white string in there as well, but that's okay. Now we need to look for the same white that is also emerging from the previous knot. It happens to be the one that was trapped, so our work is already cut out for us. So I'm gonna take this and I'm also gonna wrap it around just one time to the right of the blue, because we wanna start with white. And you can see that as I do that, I'm unraveling the whole thing so that there's no more mess. So I wrapped it around once. You can lift it up if you like, or you can just let it dangle. Look for the white long string. That's the one you need to pull. Okay, just looking for it. And I'm gonna zip it shut. The Shem Mitzvah Tzitzit. And there you have the first chulya. I'm gonna tighten everything a little bit. The pulling on the blue, and then by pulling on the long white string. So we have it nice and tight, and you can see that from the front view, you have a chulya of 3, which starts with white, and the next 2 are blue. That's how it should look. They're intertwined. Okay. Now that we've finished the first chulya, we can review what we did with the blue one and do all the rest. So this part will be a little bit sped up, but I'll do 1 or 2 slowly. So we're going to grab the core with our left hand, and we are going to create the little bridge. So that's the first wrap. And then we're going to go around a second time to the left, and then one more time to the left. And then we're going to take the tip of the blue shamash. We're going to put it through the bridge, adding it to the rest of the core strings. Okay. I personally don't like to leave any of this for this part. It's not really necessary in my opinion. And I let these fall back. Okay. So now we're going to look for where the blue string emerges from the previous chulya, which is this one right here. Now you don't really have to make a bend, but you do want to make sure it's tight somewhat. So I'm just going to put it flat, and with my left hand, I'm going to pinch down. Okay. Now I'm going to start winding away from me 3 times. That's 1, 2. You can see it's starting to unwind itself on this side. 3. And then we're just going to bring this to the side, hold it all together, find the blue on this side, and zip it shut while saying L'Shem Mitzvah Tzitzit. And it's going to end up looking somewhat like this. Okay, so we have, let's just switch to this view. So we have the first one has white, blue, blue. The next one has blue, blue, blue. And from the back side, it looks like this. Pull to tighten it, and you can also separate them to tighten it as well. Okay. So it looks like that. I like to have mine all put together very nicely. And we're going to go back to this one, because this one looks good. So this one, we're happy with it. So let's move on to the third chulya. One, 2, 3. Put it through the bridge. Okay. Everything fall back. Now I'm going to take this string that's coming out from the previous chulya. I'm going to lay it down. Pinch with my left thumb. I'm going to try to pull it tight like that so that it's going to create the line that goes in between the 2 chulyot. Okay. And now I'm just going to start wrapping away from me. Winding rather. That's 1. 2. fit it. Yeah. So now we have 3. Now let's start pulling this blue shamash to zip it shut. I'm going to slide it apart slightly. You can see we created the second chulya. Perfect. Let's move on to the third one. About it 3 times. I'm going to put this through. I'm going to take everything back. And I'm going to find where the previous one emerged from the previous chulya. I'm going to place it down and start wrapping away. 1, 2, 3. And zip it shut. I'll say L'Shem Mitzvah Tzitzit. One, 2, 3. Pass it through. And then pull everything back. Take the middle, hold it tight, and rub 3 times. 1, 2. Let's go all the way around in order for it to be considered a wind. And 3. I'm going to start doing this because it seems that they keep getting tangled from the string. L'Shem Mitzvah Tzitzit, pulled shut. Slide it over. There we go. Let's tighten that. And I'm probably just going to cut to the end. Alrighty, we made it and skipped to the last Chulya. So we have 12 here. And because we're doing Rambam Shita 13 instead of 7, the 13th one will end in white. So this time we're going to separate again the white long shamash with the blue shamash. And we are going to create a bridge with our index finger on the left hand while holding the cord down. This time with the blue string on the right side. And we're going to wrap it around once. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put the white inside. Unlike the first chulya where we put the blue, we're going to put the white inside. And then we're going to go one more time around with the blue. And then put the blue inside. Now, we're going to pull everything back. And because we're ending with white as the last part of our entire tzitzit, we're going to look for the white and start with the white. So in this case, I can see the white is emerging from the previous chulya. And I'm simply going to lay it down. And I'm going to start twisting in the opposite way. We only need 1 in this case. 1 twist for the white. There's the 1. And you can see it came up. And I'm going to hold it up with that finger while pinching. And I'm going to pull on the long white string or to zip it shut. Shem mitzvah tzitzit. Okay, and now we're ending up with a situation that looks exactly like this, where the blue is emerging, and we need to find the blue that came from the previous Chulya, which is this one. I can see when I pull that's coming from the previous knot. So I'm going to go I'm going to tighten the white one more time, just to have it nice and tight. And then I'm going to take the blue and wrap it around twice. So it's just to the right of the white. Once. You can see everything on the side is unwinding. I'm going to go one more time. Around. You can see it fully unwound itself. I'm going to hold it up while holding the entire pinch. Now I'm going to pull the blue string to zip it shut. Shem mitzvah tzitzit. And reveal the final chulya. Should look like this. 2 blue strings and a white string. I'm going to tighten it even more. Tighten the white one, and the blue one, and the white one, and the blue one. Spread it out a bit. It should look just like this. See, they're intertwined. And that is how you tie Rambam Techelet. Now, one thing to consider is you're going to have a very long blue string, depending on how much you used, but it should be very long. And you're also going to have a white long string. Remember, I started with a previous set, so I already have, I painted it black instead. In order to shorten it, you can't use regular scissors. You have to use ceramic scissors or anything ivory, anything that's not metal. You can even use your teeth. So I have a pair of scissors here that I used. They look like this. I got them on Amazon. And the blade is literally made out of ceramic. And you can use that to cut your edges where you'd want it. And then you could use a dab of clear nail polish or super glue, something like that, right on the edges. Just the smallest little dab, just to make them hard and not fray. All right, let me know in the comments if you have any questions.